Beata, recovery as a curse. What does that look like? And
Wow.
you had something to say about that you shared earlier.
Well, there is a lot to say about that too. I I don't like to focus on it as much because it sort of sounds discouraging, right? Like, don't recover because you can suffer from this. But there are definitely warning signs, right? About every recovery. And like one thing that really stands out for me is, we can get addicted to absolutely anything.
Mm,
We can get addicted to the feeling of recovering to the
mhm,
point that we don't want to recover.
mm,
We just want to stay on a journey,
mm,
because we find something that we connect with, and it resonates, and because we've just been through some, difficulty, through emotional hardship, and we just found something that feels much better, right? And 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 um it's a very easy connection. Then we just want to stay.
mm.
It just let's indulge in this without, without any kind of a goal or a higher purpose or the next step. It's just okay.
Right,
I've arrived in the feeling of, of this wonderful feeling. I can just rest here,
now I could
right?
kick
And yeah, I can take a break.
back. Yeah,
Which is okay to take a break for, for whatever time being, right? Just to recognize the journey itself, but also having that vision of, where is it that I'm going to, what am
mhm,
I breaking through to, because it's not just the breakthrough of, that needs to happen. It's not just that journey, it's not just that recovery that needs to happen. It's um it's the it's it's having the understanding and a vision of knowing, where am I going, where do I really want to be. So
mhm,
going back to that blueprint, that's I'm going away from the blueprint that somebody else has written for me. What is my own?
right.
What does it look like on all of my life levels? Am I there? So
Mm,
if I consider myself, recovering, and, going through this recovery, but what is how am I envisioning myself already done, already
mm,
recovered from this particular whatever issue it is in my life? What does it look like? What do I feel like? Who am I with? What am I doing? How am I working? How am I connecting with people? What are my hobbies?
mm,
What is, like, specifically, what does my life look like when I'm done with it?
right.
Right. So, and if I and constantly remembering that that's the journey I'm going to.
Mm,
So if I'm not there yet, then I need to keep going.
Right.
And then, then there is also, the addiction of, oh, what else can I recover from? Let me,
mhm,
I'm, I've really, I've gotten so good with this, like, let me find something else to recover from, rather than just, keep growing in a direction. So we can rebound into, going the back and forth, doing the back and forth
mm,
energy of life, which, it doesn't really take us forward so much, right? It doesn't go into the future as much, and it's just we are always kind of connected to the past. We need this sort of line connection with the past in
right.
order to feed myself today, rather than I've been through this. I understand the process. Now I'm here. What am I creating that's new? Right? That
Mm,
I don't need this anymore. I took my lessons, I took my wisdom from that, and how am I building something new based on that wisdom? So it's a
that's
constant evolution.
and
Wow.
that's so important what you say because and I see this a lot and I have a lot of discussions with people and they're like, "Oh, you're just one of those coaches." And I'm like, yeah, no, not exactly. I'm very different than that, but and we have this discussion because we unpack this thing of like, well, what do you have a problem with coaches? And what typically happens is that a lot of coaches fall into this trap in a sense where they think like, okay, I did all this work and I did all this recovery in a sense, and I'm good now. I can help other people, And what tends to happen, and I've seen this a lot, and myself included sometimes, where I see the answer so clearly, because I've done all the work, that I see another person who has this, block in front of them, and I see it so clearly that there's a block, and I kind of like, sometimes I feel like grabbing somebody and just like shaking them, like wake up kind of thing. Um, but I have to remind myself that it's their journey, and whatever that means. My job as, I call myself a partner, really, a life partner in that
Hmm.
sense, a business partner in that sense, because my job is only to be there as much as you need me to be there, that guide or that external or that observer in a sense. But I cannot come in and live that life for you. And I cannot wake you up. And that to me is my interpretation of that recovery as a curse, that here I am. I care so much about the people that I work with, but I have to like stop myself and remind myself that it's their journey. They are the ones on their journey. I'm still on my journey. I'm still recovering and I'm still growing and I'm still, whatever. Um, but I have to also remember that just because I see their blind spot, they have to come to their understanding. They have to come see their own blind spot,
Yes,
and
yes,
I have to just humble myself, and I have to push my ego away. It's not about me, it's about them.
yeah.
And I have to kind of like move to the side for that, and give them the space to discover on their own, find their own blessing, write up their own blessing,
Well,
draw.
that's the true essence of life coaching. Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting. It's not telling people how to live. It's asking
Mhm.
them questions to
Yeah.
help them realize how do they live and how would they rather,
Right.
and how can they get there, right? It's not like you say, but it's easy when we are basing on our own experiences. It's easy to get lost in that, right? Like I know and I can tell you.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yes, so we can
You
get
want to?
we can get addicted to a lot of different parts of the process. We can also get addicted to learning, right? And it feels right. It feels like I'm making progress because I'm constantly learning something. But the
Mm,
true the true recovery, the success of any change, and I see recover as change. It's a process of change,
mm,
and if the true change happens when we take action.
right.
Right.
It's not just in a conversation, in understanding and comprehending the issue, in feeling the feelings. It's about all that plus action. If we
Right.
don't take action, nothing moves, nothing goes,
Mm,
nothing is actually changing. We are just understanding the process of change, but we are not processing the change
Right.
until
mm,
we take, as Tony Robbins says, massive action.
yes.
Ask the right questions. Ask the questions about everything that you are curious about. How to, where to, with whom, what's
Yeah.
the system I can use, how can I do this and that, and plan for your own journey. What is your blueprint? What are you basing this on? What is the story you're writing for yourself? And take action to make it happen.
Mm,
Because it's easy to get stuck in a curse of constant learning and getting nowhere. It's just we can have 20, we can have numerous different PhDs, but we can never really do, right? But we can
yeah.
never we won't accomplish anything until we take action and having all the knowledge that's already under the wings. So
Yeah. My mentors
it's how.
always say your breakthrough is only as good as your follow through. You can have
There
the
you
world's
go.
greatest breakthrough, but if you're not going to follow through on it, you're not going to get anywhere. Another thing is everybody says knowledge is power, and it's completely wrong. Applied knowledge is power, but knowledge
Yeah.
on its own, having knowledge, it doesn't get you anywhere.
Yes.
So that's incredible.